know what I mean. Yeah, Super Mario Rick kind of gave him an answer as well. And Hyper Metal Sonic asks, "Hey, I have a hack request. Make that purple dude used in the video. When is it gonna be done?" When is it going to be done, my friend? Oh yeah. Well, it will be done in 2025. Get hype. Same date as Project M. Get hype. Woo! Anyway, Yoshariol asks, "How many / what hacks do you plan in the future? And what's your inspiration for these characters and why you chose them, if you don't mind, please?" I choose them because, one, I either just like the character, or two, I think, hey, this character could work as quite an interesting moveset niche. Let's try experimenting, because I don't like to do the same sort of kinds of movesets all too often, because they just get stagnant and boring after a while. I wanted to try and like experiment with lots of different gimmicks and lots of different styles of moveset. And how many hacks do I plan? Well, again, check my PSA thread. All my planned hacks are there. Judai64 asks, "Why do you think Revo sucks?" Because it does. It just sucks. It's probably just me saying that as a bias as a power user, but I just don't like Revo. The only advantage it has is easy being able to load sound effects from a SD. Just USB load it is just way better. It's just so much easier to use and just so much, yeah, it's just way better in general than Revolution. I don't like Revo at all. Smalls58T asks, "For TSP, CSS, portraits, etc., and Goku over Pit, you need a special program like Brawlbox. Also, I hit flag is in a... Oh, right, that's not a question. Derp! William Good 2 asks, "What software do you use?" And my answer is the standard Brawl hacking software. As a moveset hacker, I use PSA and Brawlbox. For textures, I use Photoshop. I have like Elements 9, so I'm kind of outdated. But you can also use GIMP. That might appeal to some people. GIMP is free, but I already had Photoshop, so it's alright. So yeah. Wario asks, "Hi, I think PSA are maybe cooler than textures and no overpowered versions, but cool balanced versions. That's what I like. Glitch-free movesets. So if I want to make some new moves for Wario, for example, down stander in airs, ground pound, is it very hard to make? What program do you need to make change moves? Such change moves? I really want to make my own." Well, as I said, you just need Brawlbox and PSA are the main ones. For like a basic start, you can watch Whack Alpaca's tutorials on YouTube. They're quite good. That's what I used to start. They're quite good if you want to start off. And then you can look around a lot of help threads and stuff, so that getting started is easier. For the example you stated, we actually did that in Project M. It's not all that hard to do, but it really just depends on your skill level. What it means is like you have to edit the animation. If you're an intermediate PSA hacker, you'll find it no trouble. A beginner, you may find it a bit hard, but yeah, you just need to. There's a certain level of skill and knowledge required for that kind of thing. Zero Enigmatic Zero, aka Enigmatic, asks, "I would like to know, what question should I ask?" Well, my friend, you should ask the question that questions questioning. That would mean questions would be questioned, and questioning would mean questioning questions. So is this a question, you may ask? Or should I say, question? Cast731 has another question. "How can you fix the running loop glitch in PSA Brawlbox? For some reason, my character over green alloy keeps looping and goes nowhere when he walks." Well, that's your problem. It's over green alloy. Green alloy fails. The alloys just, yeah, they kind of fail when it comes to hacks. They're just restricting. I wouldn't really recommend making a hack on them. But your problem might be in Brawl Box the fact that you haven't moved the character via the trans end bone forward. That's the only thing that I can think of. Otherwise, it's probably just a porting problem. Mr. Bad Barney asks, how do you know what kind of moveset is feasible / makeable in Brawl and hacking it? Well, it's really down to knowing the knowledge of the programs, knowing the restrictions of the characters, knowing stuff like articles can't be ported, articles have certain limitations and edits, the limitations and stuff, file sizes, the file sizes of characters. For example, Samus has a really bad file size, so that's why there are so few PSAs on her. Stuff like that. Characters that are generally good for PSA bases are Link, Toon Link. Characters with swords generally have high file size limits, which is a good thing. There's a few characters that are really good for making PSAs, and it's really just like you just kind of learn it. Soul W103 asks, can you make a tutorial on PSA and also how to make animations? Again, animation school and PSA is just kind of something that you inherently learn. One of the best ways to learn PSA, I think, is using other people's PSAs. Like, I remember when I was making my V1 of Shadow, one of the ways that I learned a lot of stuff from making Shadow was using looking at other past Shadow PSAs, the coding in them, and learning what applies to what coding applies to what situation. You can learn a lot like that, PSA is definitely, well, actually, basically every form of Brawl hacking, but PSA is one of those things that you need to learn through doing it more. You can't just watch a tutorial. You need to watch, first of all, you need to watch a number of tutorials, and secondly, you will get better the more you do it. It's that simple. Xchosen11 okay, asks, need help on finishing Sonic over DK Final Smash. Is the problem when Sonic turns supersonic he ends up invisible? I don't know what I did wrong. Any ideas? Well, first of all, the supersonic model probably isn't replaced properly. Secondly, in Sonic's Final Smash he has specific visibility. He has a specific visibility action to make him go as invisible, so that his supersonic model generates in its place. So, I don't really know how you're porting Sonic over DK. That probably has a lot of problems, like the homing attack won't work, the spring jump won't work, none of the moves will really work, none of the specials will really work properly, and the final smash will be glitched up. So, yeah. Mr. Mugen Wee asks, can animations be scales, hence scaling hands by the use of animations? You don't scale animations. An animation is a process. It's a series of events, say. It's a series of movements. You don't scale an animation. You scale the bones, if that makes sense. Because a character has like a skeleton where they're controlled by bones. And you scale these to make stuff bigger. Look at like Mario. When he does a punch or a kick, his arm or his leg or his hand will get bigger at the main action of the punch. So, because obviously Mario's limbs naturally are quite small, so he needs something to slightly boost his range. And since he's quite cartoony, it helps. And the final question from Caster Kid Castle. If there are any ways to hack Brawl via Dolphin, if you know how to do so, could you explain or point me towards a valid, update, helpful direction in order for me to be able to enjoy these wonderful models and PSAs? Well, yes. There's something called Wii Scrubber that allows you to replace files in your ISO. It's that simple. I'll have a download for that in the description as well. Wii Scrubber is quite simple to use. You just expand certain things in the ISO. Like it's not very hard to use. It's quite simple, the interface. You just load up the ISO, replace what file you want, and bada bing, bada boom. Well, that is it. Thanks for the questions, guys. I hope you found these answers helpful, and I will see y'all